Sit upright. Which makes us alert. Suppose you check the hands, you'll be surprised to notice that the fingers are gripping each other. Possible. The shoulders may be a little hunched up. Possible. The muscles of the tummy may remain tight. And then the muscles of the face are also tight. These are all indications of that inner stress. Which is the outcome of self-concern. The life, the way we live the life, is filled with this constant self-concern. The moment we go to sleep, the self-concern vanishes. I continue to live in sleep also, but no self-concern at all. As you pay attention to this aspect of life, that attention liberates. Otherwise, in the absence of attention, the self-concern settles down and we live with it as long as the life is. Therefore, inadvertence binds, whereas attention liberates. You may notice the distinction between the thought process, which is the movement of mind, and attention. Two different levels within you. There is the thought process, and then there is the attention. Two different levels. When you pay attention, the thought process comes to stand still. A point to be noted. When I pay attention, somehow the thought process gets the message as though and becomes quiet. You should also note the opposite, namely, when the thoughts are running, the thought has a way of building upon itself. When that is happening, means the mind is active. Soon it becomes even restless. In that state, we are swept away by the flow of thoughts, and the attention is completely absent. The distinction between attention versus the thought process. The thought process leans towards the world of things, and makes myself a personal soul, jivatma. Makes myself a person, simply. Jiva. Therefore, the thought process is always personal. It belongs to the person. It creates the person and then belongs to the person. The thought process. Whereas attention is impersonal. When you are attentive, as it is now, the thought process comes to an end, and the attention is impersonal, and the attention has no boundaries. You may note, attention is silence, the inner silence. That is the attention. And this silence, inner silence, its beauty is, it is spacious, boundless, expansive. Thus, the attention, the inner silence, leans towards divinity, Paramatma. This is the viveka between Atma and Anatma. The two dimensions within myself. Relax, sit at ease. And then open the eyes slowly. Okay. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Nishidhya Sakalopadhin Neti Neti Tivakyataha vidyādahaṃ mahāvākye jīvātma paramatmanoh padacchedam nishidhya sakalopadhin na iti vakyataha vidyāt or vidyāt aikyam mahavakye jivatma paramatmanoh sakalopadhin, all upadhis, the limiting adjuncts. Neti neti iti, not this, not this, with such a vakyataha, with the help of the sentence, nishidhya, having negated, having dismissed, mahavakye, in the great statement, jivatma paramatmanoh, of the personal soul and the universal soul, aikyam oneness, vidyāt, one has to attain. We have seen that verse. Next, coming to the next verse, āvidyakaṃ śarīrādi dṛśyaṃ budbudavatkṣaram. That is one sentence. Etadvilakṣaṇaṃ vidyāt. Now is it vidyāt or vindyāt? Vidyāt. But Anandagiri says vindyāt. So earlier verse you have said vidyāt. This verse you adopt as vindyāt. Aham brahmeti nirmalam. That is the second sentence. So we come to square one in the first sentence. Start with the sharīra, the body. So in English they call it body, but in Sanskrit they don't call it, there is no corresponding word for body in Sanskrit, as much as there is no corresponding word for sharīra in English. You have to provide a phrase. Śarīrādi means that which is disintegrating. Or you want to make it a single word, disintegrating, noun. That which is disintegrating, I condense it to disintegrating, means a noun it is. So that is sharīra. Now what about this sharīra? You see, who are you? Are you the sharīra, or are you the one who inheres the sharīra? This is the question. This question you have to address. So what we have done is, in Vedanta we stopped addressing this question. We have migrated to a bigger thing, the Jagat and its origin. That is how you migrate. And stay there. Don't address this question. Therefore what happens now, we adopt a process called Shravana Manana Nididhyasana that amounts to a sedentary lifestyle. Because you listen to Shravana, then you read a book, and then you meditate. Sedentary ho gaya. And we stopped addressing the body-mind issue. And now we are always looking at the Brahma Jagat Karanam, what kind of cause it is. That person says Nimitta Karanam, this person says another Karanam. They are wrong, we are right. We have gone into that mode. Very, very interesting mode. Nothing wrong with it, but that is how it happened to us. Then Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam, therefore we have become sedentary. And then people support us. God bless them. I am not complaining. I am not complaining. Please note, I am not complaining. You continue to support. Therefore, we have comforts, and a nice food is served also with love. So that makes us sick people. We become sick. We develop diabetes at a very early age. In 50s, we get diabetes. And then we have physicians to take care of us. And so we never ever address the body issue. I have not seen one acharya addressing the body-mind issue. In fact, they even develop some hostility to this body-mind issue. Hey, why all the time body-mind? What happened to you? Some hostility. No, there is a superimposition, adhyasa. No, we don't admit anything called adhyasa. Look at that. So, the body, you open Brahma Sutra Bhashya, how it opens with Adhyasa Bhashya. And what is Adhyasa Bhashya? It is about body-mind identification. That is what it is, nothing else. So we pay lip service to it. Sometimes we even dismiss it. Books are published dismissing the Adhyasa Bhashya, as if it is not relevant. You know what some of the Dvaita schools say? Can you believe it? They say Don't go to these adhyasa people. Shankara people are adhyasa people. They always worry about superimposition of this or that or this. You should not get into all that. You should worship the God and have nice life. God will bless you. All your desires will be fulfilled. That is what you should do. You got the point? I am really addressing a real issue. I am not, even I am surprised that it boils down to this. So, therefore, when you ignore this body-mind issue, ultimately it will get you. And when the body-mind gets you, the Brahma Jagat Karanam won't help you. Got it? I have a question. I weave the questions into the class. Look at this question, very interesting question, as if what I was about to say was anticipated by this question. As if, look at this question. When one dedicates his entire day to studying the scriptures, Sanskrit and Shravanam, Mananam and Nididhyasanam, entire day, out of the love for jnanam, that jnanam is conceptual jnanam, out of the love for it, you spend entire day in it. Can that be looked as swadharma? The answer is no. That is not swadharma. What is swadharma? If you are a brahmachari, you study the subject that you have chosen to study and do the duties of a brahmachari, which include some service to the teacher also. That is swadharma, not spending the day in Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana and Sanskrit and scriptures. That is not swadharma. Swadharma is what you do. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, Sanskrit and scriptures are what you know or what you learn. They are two different dimensions altogether. One is doing and another is knowing. So how the doing thing is only swadharma, not the knowing thing. Okay, knowing thing is knowing. It is not an action. Okay, knowing is not an action. Swadharma is an action. So that is not swadharma. Then what could be the swadharma? You serve your parents. That is swadharma as a brahmachari. Suppose you are married, perform your duties to the spouse and children. That becomes swadharma. Pay taxes, perform duties to the society and the state. That is swadharma. Cast your vote. That becomes swadharma. What you do is swadharma, not what you learn. Learning is some higher dimension. It is, you should combine both, because Bhagavan has given us organs of action for performing swadharma, and also he has given us the faculty of knowing, and with that you know the truth of the self. Therefore, just because you are studying scriptures, that doesn't become swadharma. Like priest is there. So he studies the scriptures, all right. That is how he became priest in the first place. But then he performs puja, etc. And he trains students if there are such students. That becomes his swadharma. Can that be looked as karma yoga? No. Karma yoga is you have to do karma. Shravana Manana Nididhyasana is not karma. It is not karma. It is knowing. It is the dimension of knowing. It is not the dimension of doing. Shravanam means what you do. You come to the class, you drive the car, come to the class, arrange the chair, sit there, put the fan on. All that is karma. But you sit and listen to the scripture. That is not karma anymore. Okay? Therefore, you should not confuse like that. That is not karma yoga. Karma yoga is when you do karma. Do it without the desire for the result thereof. That is karma yoga. So, as seva, seva is also not karma, not... what do you mean by seva? Seva is karma yoga, we don't know. You define, you tell me what is seva, then I will tell you whether it is karma yoga or not. So, when you do some service spontaneously and also as a part of your duty, Is that what you are calling seva? Suppose you serve the parents, you don't call it seva, you call it karma, dharma, duty. The word seva is a problem. You know, in English seva is called service. If you go through, there are churches where they put the service begins on Saturday at 5 p.m. Okay? And nowadays, even the temples put it like that. In this country and in Canada, the Vishnu temple puts the board, service begins at 6 p.m. So, what service it is? You worship the God. A form of God is put there and you worship that. That is called service. In the temple service is worshipping the image. Whereas a church service is somewhat different. I never attended the church service. Have a mind to attend once at one time. So, there what they do, the priest will come, the pastor or bishop or whatever, and they will they sing a few songs in the praise of the Lord, and then a sermon is given, and then they give prasadam also. Not like Indian temples, they give the prasadam, the priest stands at the gate and gives prasadam to every one of them. Sometimes he puts the prasadam in the mouth of the devotee also. A small prasadam, he takes it and puts in the mouth. I wish they start doing that kind of a thing in our temple also. They should do it. They sell the prasadam. Look at that. They should do something like that. So anyway, that is what is called service. And if service is seva, so there is a problem there. It has to be further elaborated. What do you mean by seva? So that's why we focus on dharma. Do dharma, duty. You perform your duty. Now seva, etc., we have to look at it. Suppose you come across a person with some difficulty, you help him. So you want to give a status to that? Don't you want to leave it just the way it is? You come across a beggar who is hungry and you have some food. You give the food to him and you forget about it. Why do you want a status to be given to that? You want it to be called seva. You want it to be called like that. I don't want it to be called anything. I don't want it to be called dharma also. I just spontaneously it is done. Out of love it is done. We don't want to create a category for it and we don't want to give a status for that. We just want to forget about it and move on. Forget about it means you move on. That is the way it has to be done. So keep that seva part aside. But so this is how we become sedentary. In the name of learning, we should not become sedentary. And so why it happened like that? Because in our over-enthusiasm for Jagat Karana, we want to find out the cause of the universe. How do you find out the cause of the universe? One Mahatma, his name is Swami Maharaj, he was asking this question. How do you find out the cause of the universe? You have to employ your buddhi, right? What is the place of buddhi in the cosmogony? First Brahma, then you invoke the Maya Shakti, Brahma associated with Maya Shakti, and then manifests into universal intelligence, which is Hiranyagarbha. And then Hiranyagarbha, he further manifests as Panchabhutas Sukshma, subtle. In fact, there is one more stage. Hiranyagarbha manifests as Sutratma, the universal life, which manifests as Virat, the universal body. And in the process, Pancha Mahabhutas are created, subtle bodies, 5 subtle bhutas, elements, 5. And they come together to constitute what you call buddhi. Now, at which level is the buddhi? 4th level or 5th level? So buddhi, which is at the fourth or fifth level of cosmogony, you want to employ it to find out what happened at the beginning. You got the point? So, no, we follow what Scripture says. That is not investigation. You just follow the Scripture. That is not investigation. You may as well put it in the category of belief. Or if not, you don't like the belief because you are studying, you can put it as a conceptual study. Therefore, it is not about Brahma Jagat Karanam. That is not the way to proceed for understanding Brahma. But in Brahma Sutra, it started like that. No, it did not start like that. It started as Athato Brahma Jijñāsa. It started that way, with Jijñāsa. Jijñāsa is in you. It started with you, the Sutrakara. And then coming to Bhashyakara, he started with Adhyasa, superimposition. That is where he started. Janmadhyasya yataha will come later. And that Janmadhyasya yataha itself is connected with another sutra called Prakrutischa, etc. Prakrutyadhikaranam. They both should be studied together. Means you cannot keep a Jagat outside of you and then a God outside of you and try to establish a cause-effect relationship between that God and that Jagat. You stand apart. This is not going to work. You become an arbiter between Jagat and God. No, that is not the way. You have to come to yourself. This is called Adhyatma Vidya. You have to come to yourself. So, here is another doubt. I am disturbed by this doubt often while listening to classes. That is, Buddhi and below Buddhi, Prakriti are Jadam. Okay? Being a Jadam, it can neither be bound nor be free emotionally. Then which particular entity is remaining in the Prakriti side to enjoy the freedom in this whole scheme of teaching of Vedanta? That is the question. Okay, the question is, he has tried to put it in a way. So the question is, who is Ajnani? That is the question. Who is ignorant? That is the question. So I am saying it again. Then which particular entity is remaining in the Prakriti side? That is the bondage. And that particular entity has to enjoy the freedom. So which is that entity? So freedom for what? Freedom for whom? Bondage for whom? Freedom for whom? The question is, freedom is moksha for whom? Then I ask, moksha is for the one to whom there is bondage. Okay, moksha is for whom? To the one who is in bondage. Then the question, that is the question. Then the next question is, who is it that is in bondage? That is the next question. Okay? My answer is you. You are in bondage. How do I know? Are you suffering or not? Are you afraid or not? Yes, I am afraid. Are you sorrowful or not? Yes, I am sorrowful. Are you escaping from sorrow or not? Yes. Are you having that relentless self-concern or not? Yes. Then you are in bondage. And you need freedom. Therefore, the question, who wants freedom? You want freedom. And who is in bondage? You are in bondage. So who is that in bondage? Who is that? What is that entity which is bound? I ask you, you purchase a car, let us say BMW car, very good car you purchase. And now you are attached to the car. Now who is attached to the car? You are attached to the car. In that you, there are a few elements. That you are attached to the car. In that you, there is the body-mind. Without body-mind, there is no person. And you are the person, you take yourself to the person, and the person is attached to the car. Therefore, you, in you, in that element called you, there is body-mind. But then body-mind is jada. It cannot get attached to the car. It cannot even know the car. And without knowing, it cannot get attached. Therefore, the body-mind is jada, insentient. Therefore, it is not attached. But then, in you, it is not just body-mind alone. It is the knowing element is also there. Without knowing element, suppose it is just the body-mind, it doesn't even know that there is a thing called car, and therefore it doesn't get attached, there is no attachment. You know the famous statement of Ramana Maharshi, Deho na janati. This is Saddharshanam. Body doesn't know. Mind is the same. Body is gross, mind is subtle. That is the body-mind it is. Therefore, body-mind is not attached to the car. Unless the knowing element also joins hands. There cannot even be any knowing. And without knowing, you cannot get attached. Therefore, the you, the person, is a combination of the body-mind and the knowing element. That is the combination. Okay? But they don't combine. They don't combine. Body-mind is jada. Knowing element is chetana. Jada is sentient and insentient. They don't combine. Okay? Body-mind is unreal. Āvidyakaṃ. śarīrādi. It is unreal. Knowing element is real. How real and unreal can come together? How there can be a combination of the real and unreal? So there cannot be combination of insentient with sentient, or the other way. There cannot be a combination of, so the knowing element, that is the sentience, with the insentient, and there cannot be a combination of the real, which is the knowing element, with the unreal, the body-mind. There cannot be a combination. And unless there is a combination, the you won't happen. Unless the you happens, there cannot be attachment. Got the question? You understood the question? It's a very valid question. The answer is the unthinkable, the unimaginable, the impossible happens. What is the impossible? The body-mind combining with the knowing element. That is the impossible. Why it is impossible? As I am repeating, the body-mind is insentient, and knowing element is sentience. The body-mind is unreal, whereas the knowing element is real. How can there be any combination between the two? In fact, they call it not just a combination, they call it a knot. Knot, K-N-O-T, knot. It is a knot. If I say knot, you may not get it, that's why I am saying knot. Granthi, it is a knot. Now, how can you have a knot? When it is real with imaginary, real with unreal, how can there be a knot? The knowing element and the sentience and the insentient, how can there be a knot? It cannot be. It cannot be. But it is made possible by avidya. Okay? Āvidyakaṃ śarīrādi. So the impossible is made possible by ignorance. How can there be any connection between rope and snake? There is no connection between the two. There is absolutely no connection. But still you superimpose the snake upon the rope due to ignorance of the rope. Ignorance of the rope makes the superimposition of the serpent on the rope possible. That's why the avidya, the ignorance, which is also called maya, is defined as aghatita ghatana patiyasi maya. Maya is that which makes the impossible possible. Okay? All our life is like that. We get attached to the car. Car is not attached to us. Car is jada. Car is not attached to us. The body is not attached to the car. Even the mind is also subtle jada. Even the mind is not attached to the car. But I am attached to the car. How? How it is possible? It is not logically possible, but it is there experientially. We experience the attachment, means that is made possible by avidya. So the question is answered. This knot between the Atma and Anatma, okay, that the knot creates an entity called personal self. That is the name of that entity. How the personal self is created? By a knot between the pure knowing element, which is Atma, and the body-mind. Between the two, there is a knot, because of which you feel yourself to be the personal self. So, the personal, please pay attention to this expression, personal self. I ask you a question. Are you not living the life of the personal self all along? Is it not so? All the time, till the person falls dead, he lives the life of the personal self, right? And what is the personal self? It is a bundle of fears and desires, right? Is it not so? That is the life we are living. And when you go to sleep, what happens to this personal self? It just vanishes. Okay? I ask you one more question. What happens to this personal self when the body falls dead? It vanishes. Now don't listen to stories that it goes here, it hangs, here it hangs. Put aside all those stories. What happens to the personal self? When the body is dead, the personal self doesn't exist anymore. The person doesn't exist anymore. It is a myth. It is not real. Atma exists. Atma always exists. So therefore, the question is, the personal self, which is a knot between the Atma and Anatma, the knowing element and the body-mind, a knot, it readily vanishes the moment you go into sleep, and it will not be there when the body falls dead. When the life comes to an end, that personal self also ends. Now my question is, why not you consciously, voluntarily end it now and here? Why not? The blessed thing is going to end when the person dies, and it just vanishes when you go to sleep. And only in the waking state it is very alive, strong, and making you suffer. Why not end the personal self in the waking state? You end it. How to end? You examine how it is formed in the first place. It is formed because of a knot between the Atma and Anatma. And the knot itself is not possible, because one is real and the other is unreal. But the impossible is made possible by avidya. So understand, the avidya is gone. It is the understanding which puts an end to avidya. So therefore that question is now answered. Who is getting bondage? Who is getting freedom? That question is answered. It is not. Now suppose you ask the question, Who is ignorant? Suppose you ask the question. Right? The answer is there is no who, there is only ignorance. You got the answer? I will explain it to you. Somehow people have a notion that there must be someone to be ignorant. There need not be someone. So ignorance is enough. There need not be someone that holds on to the ignorance as my ignorance. Like you look at a rope and immediately you project a serpent. So how the serpent is projected? Because there is the ignorance of rope, that's it. The ignorance of rope causes the projection of the serpent. That is enough. You need not have a person there to whom this ignorance belongs. So not necessary. There is ignorance. There is no who. There is ignorance. You got that point? This idea that people have that there must be something or somebody, there must be something or somebody is wrong. In sleep, are you something? Are you somebody in sleep? Are you not a nobody in sleep? You need not be something. You need not be a somebody. The real need not be a something. Suppose it is a something. Is it not limited already? Suppose it is somebody. Is it not limited already? Why this notion that you must be a limited entity? Why? And so you assume yourself to be a somebody, and now you made a God into another somebody. Are you not aware of what is going on in the name of religion? Don't you see that? Why God is a somebody? Because the God is anthropomorphic. You are a somebody. Therefore God is a somebody. Being a somebody, you get married. Only somebody gets married. Nobody doesn't get married. Somebody gets married. You are somebody, therefore you want to get married. And therefore your God also has to get married. You arrange the marriage. You need not be a somebody. You should understand that somebody is a product of ignorance. The personal self is unreal. You should know that. It is proved to us day after day. The moment you go into sleep, the personal self vanishes. Next day morning when you wake up, you do not wake up as the personal self. You wake up as the pure awareness, the light of awareness, that Atma. That is how you wake up. Then you become aware of the body-mind. And then you identify with the body-mind, superimposition, due to ignorance. And then create a knot. And thus a personal self is projected or put in place. And now you identify with that personal self because you have a notion that you must be somebody. And also personal self is kept ready. You see, to tell you the truth, there is only desire. There is no desirer. But due to ignorance, along with the desirer comes. So you cannot separate the desire and the desirer. If the desire is false, which it is, the desirer is equally false. And when the desire vanishes, you do not stand there as the personal self who has got rid of the desire. No. When the desire vanishes, the personal self also vanishes. You reach a state of no person, that impersonal light of awareness. That is what you reach. When the desire is dismissed, you reach the place, the level of impersonal awareness. And the moment the next desire happens, you identify with it, you fall down from that higher level of impersonal awareness into the desirer, which is created out of the desire itself. These are some of the, these are weighty matters. Suppose I ask you a question. There is thought, right? And then we talk of thinker. The thinker. The thinker who thinks the thought. Now you tell me, there is a thinker, and then he thinks, and there is thought. Is it like that? Is that happening like that? No, it is not happening like that. There is thought, which is the thinker. Don't you see? You think about it. Okay? There is no thinker apart from the thought. Thought is the thinker. You create this division and create a personal self out of it. Okay? Then I will ask one more question. Was there a dream, or was there a dreamer also? Dreamer, is not the dreamer part and parcel of the dream? So that means dreamer is the dream. Dream is the dreamer. There is no division between the two. Similarly, thinker is the thought. There is no division between the two. Similarly, ajnana is the ajnani. Ajnani is the ajnana. You don't need somebody to own that ajnana. Ajnana is enough to account for what is going on. The mess of samsara going on, ajnana is good enough. Ajnana accounts for it. You are afraid wrongly. That is enough. Okay? So anyway, I have digressed. The question also came. I have digressed. So now we come back to the fundamental issue of the body-mind versus myself. That is where we have arrived. We have gone through some of the questions and we have arrived there. In doing so, we have covered some ground also. So, śarīrādi, body-mind. This body-mind, Shankara says it is dṛśyaṃ, means it is always known. It is always known. It is known to you. It is always known to you that you is not the one who identifies with the body-mind. You understand? Now, you will understand. I have to put it properly. So, the one who identifies with the body-mind, let us say ego. The one who identifies with the body-mind, let us say ego. Now this ego, is it part and parcel of the thought process, or is it something in the realm of pure awareness? Thought process only. Therefore, there is body, there is mind, there is identification, there is ego, all of that is in the thought process. Okay? Therefore, now what thought and everything else that is created by the thought, they fall into the category of dṛśya, known. Then who is the knowing element? I don't want to create a person out of the knowing element. That's why I am not saying knower. Suppose sometimes it is said as knower, then based on the context you have to understand it not as a person but as the knowing element. Okay? So it's like light is there. There is the light only. There is no lighter. Okay? That is, you don't need a lighter. Light is enough. Light accounts for everything. Similarly, therefore, even if you create a personal self out of the thought process, that personal self continues to be part and parcel of the thought process. And therefore, what is the thought process now? What is the content of thought process? Shabda, the cognitions. Shabda, cognitions of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, and all inferential knowledge. That is also part and parcel of the thought process, and all the knowledge of the sciences and social studies, humanities, etc., engineering, etc., that you have acquired and put into the brain cells, that is also part and parcel of the thought process. And then the personal self, which identifies with all that, is also the egotistic self, is also part and parcel of the thought process. Okay? So all of that comes under the category of dṛśyaṃ. śarīrādi, dṛśyaṃ. Shall I count the dṛśyaṃ? Start with the world, the things of the world, dṛśya. śarīrā, dṛśya. They go together always. It's a package. You do not have the world without the body, and you do not have the body without the world. You understand that? They come together. The body and the world come together, and they sync together when you go to sleep. Therefore, let us count the world, the body, the organs of action, the sense organs, the mind. Mind is the stray thoughts, the emotions, the feelings, okay, which are emotions only, and then the knowledge, and then the ego, egotistic self or the personal self. All of that list is dṛśya. And it is becoming known. Dṛśya means known. It is becoming known. Means that there must be the light. The knowing element must be there. That knowing element is Atma. And you are not the ego, you are not the body, you are not the content of the thought process. All of this dṛśya, you are not any one of them. The real you is that inner light, the light of awareness, the Atma. That is the real you. And therefore, the real you is not a person. Atma is not a person. The real you is the impersonal, which means the boundless. Because the moment you say person, the boundary is still sitting there. The impersonal means the boundless, spacious, space-like light of awareness, the knowing element, that is the Atma. Okay? That's why I am saying, you are not the personal self. You examine this personal self. It came when you woke up this morning, and it vanishes when you go back into sleep. And when this body falls, that personal self will not be there. It falls along with the body. No, what takes birth? The body doesn't take rebirth. It is sukshma sharira, that's a different topic. So put that aside. So that's why I say, suppose the father has died. Now the father has died means the body has gone. Once the body is gone, the fatherhood also is gone. You should not think that father is hanging somewhere above. Then why should we perform obsequies? Because they happen to be our duty. That's why you have to perform. Suppose somebody is dead, you have to dispose of the body. And you have to dispose it of the right way. That is called obsequies. Okay? Very simple. And then a few beliefs are created around it. And hence some religious structure also has come to it. That is called obsequies. Therefore, don't give too much importance to that. What you call the personal life, again I am emphasizing that, it is there, it came when you woke up. Not immediately. It took a little while. If you pay attention, you can understand that it took a little while for the person to precipitate. You know what is precipitation? So the person precipitates only after identification with the body-mind. Till then, just you wake, you are awake. You are awake. So that means the awareness is there, impersonal, boundless, spacious awareness. That is how you wake up. And in that awareness, you become aware of the body first, body-mind. First mind and then body. And then you identify by habit. And then you become the personal self who is living in this world. That is the personal self which is created out of ignorance, avidya. So, āvidyakaṃ śarīrādi dṛśyaṃ. It is all dṛśya, the known. Okay? And then ksharam, it vanishes. It is vanishing even now. Ksharati, even now it is vanishing. It is like the sand clock. Sand clock, they call it sand clock? Hourglass, sand hourglass. So you put the hourglass, so you see the sand above. There is sand. It is not sand. It is already going away. No, I see sand there. Yeah, you see sand there. But what is happening to that sand? It is slipping away. Kshara meaning is that. Kshara means it is slipping away. It is falling away. It is depleting. That is the word. It is depleting, kshara. So the hourglass sand is depleting, right? What about the body? Is it not depleting? It is ksharam. Why do you want to identify with it? It is not worth identifying. Because it is dṛśyaṃ and it is ksharam, it is depleting. Another name for it is disintegrating. And it is like a bubble. Bubbles are there. The children, they blow the bubbles. They take some soap water and blow the bubbles. Sometimes some of the naughty kids, they blow the bubbles onto you. And the bubble, it looks colored also. Newton's rings happen. Newton's rings are there. When there is interference of light, so you see multiple colors. The surface of the bubble, soap bubble, will have color. So very beautiful colored bubbles hanging around, floating very gracefully, highly colored like a rainbow, floating gracefully. That is our body. Okay? And what will happen to it? We know what will happen to it. The bubble, what will happen? It will explode. Not explode, it will vanish. Very soon it will vanish. That is the bubble. That is the body mind. The same thing happens to the mind also, you should note. How? You look back. You are not the mind. You are the one who looks at the mind. Why this pinches me? Because of the cloth. Yeah, now it is okay. So, you are not the mind. You are the one who looks at the mind. Please look at your mind. Look back. As a child, what was your mind? You must be knowing it. The mind is known to you. You are a child. You see, elders are very worried and they are concerned and they are happy, unhappy, sorrowful, all that. But the children are playing happily. They too have a mind, but that mind doesn't give importance to the issues of life that much. Who is worried about the homework? Mother or the child? Mother is worried, not the child. The children also have their problems, their burdens, their responsibilities they have. They have to face this class teacher, and they are always encouraged to compare with other colleagues in this classroom. There are always some brilliant students, and they were forced to compare with the brilliant students. And when they compare, they become unhappy, and they feel let down, they feel inferior. All problems they have. Children also, they have all the problems. But somehow, they are able to put aside all these problems and play happily. Whereas once we grow up, we can never ever put away these problems and play happily. We cannot do that. We need an elaborate mechanism of escape from the personal problems. The name given to that is entertainment. So you need a music session, a music concert you need, or a movie you need, or some cruise you need. So you need so much to escape from the issues of the personal self, whereas the children, they readily put aside all the problems and play happily. So at one time, that was your mind, which knew the knack of putting aside all issues. That was your mind. You can look back. Then as a youth, you had a different mind. As an employee in the middle age, you had a different mind. Now about to retire, you have a different mind. And I ask you one question. You look at your mind and tell me, this mind will remain the same after 5 years from now? No. Before the election result, you had one mind. And after the election result, you had a different mind. The mind is ever changeful. And it is known to you. It is dṛśyaṃ. It is known to you. You have to focus on this. This is the way to do it. This is the Atma viveka. There is a name to it. It is called vidyādahaṃ. The word abhyasa is used. It is not dumbbell kind of abhyasa. It is the cognitively or the discrimination. You have to practice it. You don't get carried away by the word practice. There is a practice like that. You practice. Practice means not dumbbell practice, okay? You practice, look at the body, and you decide, take a vow, I have to settle this issue of the body. I have to settle this. I cannot keep it hanging. The body and the embodied are not of the same order of reality. They are not the same. The body and the embodied are not the same. Okay? The body is dṛśyaṃ, kṣara, budbudavatkṣaram. Whereas the embodied is timeless. You have to examine this issue. The body exists in time and space. You have to understand. The body exists in time and in space. And it is transient, budbudavatkṣaram, and it is limited. That is the body. Whereas the indweller, the dehi, that is you, timeless. Now what happens? You take yourself to be time-bound, suppose. Is it not bondage? That is the bondage. You are timeless, but take yourself to be time-bound. That is the bondage. Now what is the bondage? Time is the bondage. Psychological time is the bondage. So what is the psychological time? You assume that you were born and you are going to die. You had a short lifespan. That is how you assume. Is that not psychological time? And people are afraid of death. Means what? They are afraid of time. They are afraid of death means they are afraid of time. They are afraid of future. Next year what will happen? They are afraid. Means they are afraid of time. And so they perform karma. Means they are bound in time. Because you perform karma now to reap the fruits in the future. You created time, psychological time. By performing a karma for reaping the fruits, karma phala, between karma and karma phala, you have created psychological time. And you are bound by that. Therefore, the indweller is timeless. Now, when you are quiet, alone, free, are you not timeless? You are spaceless. Suppose you remain in attention, attentive, as attention. Are you not spaceless? You are spaceless. As attention, you are spaceless. You are timeless. That is what you are, the attention, spaceless and timeless, that is what you are. The attention is boundless. There are no boundaries in the attention. That attention you are. Therefore, now you take that inner light of awareness or the attention and you identify with the time-bound body-mind. It is a grievous mistake. And it is the cause of endless suffering. It makes you a person that lives the personal life. And if you examine the personal life, it is a life of self-concern. It is a life of tension, stress, conscious or unconscious. It is a life of bondage in time. It is a life of identification with the ever-depleting body. So, that personal life, it is a life of so much suffering, so many issues. That is the personal life. And you create it for yourself by identifying the indweller, timeless, with the time-bound body-mind. Why do you do that? No, everybody is doing. So it is a universal mistake, universal error. And so the entire humanity is doing that mistake, except a jnani here, a jnani there. So this is the avidya. And so therefore the first line, let us say the first line, śarīrādi, body, etc. Namely, body, mind, and the ego, etc. dṛśyaṃ, something which is known. Budbudavatkṣaram, like a bubble, transient. Kṣaram, ever depleting. Āvidyakaṃ, a product of ignorance. Yeah. So, the ignorance is twofold. This I said many times, but I am repeating. First, you give reality to the body-mind, that is ignorant. And then you identify with that so-called real, that is ignorance. Okay? It is like you see a hero on the movie screen. Okay? That hero that you see on the screen, is it real or unreal? Unreal. But you take it as real. Number one. Number two, that is the hero that I worship. I like that hero. Then second kind of identification. Double identification, right? So, double ignorance. First, you give reality to the body. Body, you give real. You call it real. Now this body, I ask you, I am concluding, this body, was it born this morning when you woke up, or was it born 45 years back? You tell me. This morning when you woke up, it was born. Why do you take it 45 years or 50 years back? Why do you take it like that? I had a I am concluding, very interesting experience. I went to coming here, I went to the security. And in the security, I was about to take out the shoes. The person told he need not take out the shoes. Then I went went ahead. Then that person's shoes, she told me not to take out the shoes. Then he asked, what is your age? I told the age, okay, you need not take out, come. Look at that. So that means the immigration people, the security people, they look upon you as the body. And you do the same thing with yourself. So you should not adopt their thinking. You should think better than that. You should always practice this vivekabhyasa. This body, time bound, It is time-bound, space-bound, this body, and I am aware of it. That's it, I am aware of it. That liberates you. That Atma and Atma Viveka liberates. Then what about Jagat Karanam Brahma? We will come to that. First take care of this. First things first, I will come to that. Once you settle this, that will be settled also. Because the body is 5 elements and the Jagat is also 5 elements. Once you settle the body issue, you will settle the Jagat issue also. We'll come back. Om Purnamada Purnamidam